welcome back to my life with plants. I'm Newman, and today is an unboxing. Something very special and possibly my favorite native Japanese orchid that I've been growing in the garden. I did lose a couple, and I think that was just through me watering them in the wrong season. It's just a matter of letting nature take its course, which is the best approach to growing these since I am living in Japan. But I decided to get some more. So here I've already unboxed it. And right here we have this is really neat. It's actually an explanation in a explanation about the cultivation of this plant. So as an introduction to what all the parts are called on the flower, how to cultivate them, how to make a moss ball down there. Trim off those old roots. You need a pestle. And then you finally wrap them. But a lot of growers actually will grow them on a mount, and that works perfectly well too, because when they grow them on trees, they do that. Something really interesting down here is a bit of history. A little bit of history down here. Somebody revered back then, a lieutenant of the samurais. It says here, Vanda Falcata, also known as the samurai orchid or Fukiran, boasts a rich history of cultivation in East Asia, with early records in China during the late Ming Dynasty and a significant rise in popularity in Japan during the Edo period from 1600 to 1868. Revered by the samurai and nobility as a symbol of wealth and status, these orchids were so prized that owning them was restricted to the ruling class. So I kind of feel privileged to be someone living in this day and age, to be able to own such things. These particular orchids are in plentiful supply, and unfortunately that doesn't mean in native habitat. Native habitat like every other country has a big problem with people going out and getting plants or taking them from habitat, and countries like in Korea, they've actually become quite rare. And there's one offshore island in the very, very south out in the ocean there in Korea where they're trying to re-establish them. Mainly lithophytic, growing on this rocky island. Okay, this camera's kind of bouncing around a little bit, sorry about that. I'm trying my best. I am going to take one out and have a look, see what it looks like. And sorry if you can see my knees there. I'm actually crouched on the floor. Please don't look at my knees, look at the plants, okay? When I ordered these, I asked for them to come potted as I saw them being sold online. I said I just want them as is and with the pots, which you can do that, and if you don't, they come bare rooted, which I kind of don't want them to be disturbed because I could see that they were very well growing. I don't want to disturb the roots. This is much larger and much more of a beautiful plant than I imagined. It's very healthy, very nice. And you can see here it's in its mimic traditional pot. It's plastic. It's well grown. Yeah, very nice. The ones I have been growing are doing very well. The ones that I do have, it's just a matter of finding the right spot, which is very, very breezy. Morning or afternoon sun. The reason why it's called Falcata is wind orchid, is that it really, really loves a lot of fresh air moving around it, and I mean a lot. Another very, very healthy plant with plenty of roots. It's very healthy. And we have one more, and I want you to guess how much all of this cost. usually with the application of, or the process of making I was going to say a rice ball, I mean a moss ball, is that they wrap it around a pestle, which you use in a bowl to crush seeds and spices. And if you don't have a pestle, you can use a broom handle or something like that. And they wrap moss around it, and the reason why they do that is to leave a hole in the bottom, which this one doesn't really have. So I can imagine that this guy has hundreds and hundreds of these wind orchids, Vanda Falcatas, and he just grabs the moss and squeezes it together into this shape, into a moss ball. So he doesn't wrap each thread around and around and around, which is extremely time consuming. It can take hours to do that. And then he has used wire to hold the whole thing together while it roots into there. And the roots have been spread out over that, and then another application of sphagnum moss. So all up, these three magnificent Vanda Falcatas cost $18. Amazing, isn't it? So this particular seller has must have a very, very large establishment of these plants when selling them, and including the pots and having them not unpotted but as is, like I requested. It was $28. $28. Look at the size of them. And I'm going to take really good care of them because I've gotten a knack for growing them. And if you want to see how I grow them and where I put them, stay tuned for that, and we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Alright, thanks for watching that unboxing. So up here, like I said before, I have Vanda Falcata. Unfortunately, this one is recovering. It was actually in too much shade. This one is doing fine, and this one is doing the best. Got nice roots there coming out. We had a few days of rain, 2.5 days, yeah. And up here is their fertilizer. It's just some old clothes and cut into squares, and slow release fertilizer put in there, and a twist tie. Right, and the new ones, they're still on the same west side. They're just up the other end. Right here. There they are, right there. So hopefully this is a nice breezy cool area. So we'll take you back so you can have a look. It's right by the road. So right by the road is pretty breezy. The wind will come through, and they really, really like airflow a lot. So next to a, well, in an area that has a continuous current of air that you can feel flowing, which is like right here, is ideal for them. And it does have shea cloth over it, because I'm not sure about where the previous grower had them, but I'm pretty sure that it was in some direct sunlight. because if you don't have them at least a few hours of direct but dappled sunlight, then Vanda falcatas will certainly suffer, and they like to dry out pretty quick after watering. So they're unlike other orchids, probably like this Phalaenopsis. Once you water it on the mount there and it stays moist for the whole entire day, they kind of like that. These Vanda types, they like to dry right out. So they're gonna, these three will actually go through this. They've already been through one whole winter with temperatures that drop right down to -8 degrees, and the winters here are dry, so you can get 1 to 2 rainy days at the most, 2 days at the most maximum of any rain, and otherwise no rain at all for at least 3 to 4, let's see, December, January, February, March, about 4 months of the year you will have 1 rainy day per month. And what happens with these orchids, since they are native to Japan here, they experience humidity around 70% during the night in the winter, and during the daytime it'll drop right down to 40% humidity. So it's very low humidity during the day and a lot of sunshine. So this, you can actually see up there that this would be a typical kind of sky in the winter time. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's actually very, very low humidity, but at in the nighttime the humidity goes up. But whatever you do, don't water them in winter unless you are living in a more tropical area, perhaps in the south of Japan, like we have the Okinawa Islands, and if they are growing there, which they are, those particular varieties of Vanda falcata will get a little rain on and off during the winter time. Won't be a lot of rain, but it'll be more than this area. This area is pretty dry, and I made the mistake of watering them because I thought they needed some, but actually no water at all. What they do is just get 70% of humidity in the nighttime, which is just enough to hydrate the plants a little bit. But you'll notice that this sphagnum moss has actually gone rock hard dry. But don't panic, it'll be fine. If you live in warmer temperatures, what I mean is maybe you have them in a greenhouse and it doesn't get any cooler than 15 degrees. So I think 65 Fahrenheit, and it'll get over 20 degrees. So I might get over 85 Fahrenheit in your greenhouse, and you might have to water them. But here we get down to like 12 Fahrenheit, 15, about 15 or 20 Fahrenheit, and then during the daytime it'll climb back up to about 75 Fahrenheit, which is about 15 at the most, usually 10 degrees. But in the actual sunlight, where the sunlight reaches your hands or on your body, it actually feels warmer than that. It actually feels around 85 or about 20 degrees because of the amount of sunlight. But if you go into the shade, pretty cool. So these orchids might actually have a little bit of a move. They might move the Vanda falcatas to a higher light situation, which could be over in this area. Let me just go to the other side. So during the winter time, I'm probably gonna take them off, and I'm going to possibly put them here, or they would definitely get moved, and I'm not sure where, but somewhere with some direct sun. During the winter time, they don't mind the direct sun. I actually like it, and it's pretty scary because it's really, really dry, and they're not getting any water day after day after day for months on end until you might get a slight shower. It's usually not very much. It's just a quick shower of water, and it makes you want to water them. You look at them and you think, oh no, this can't be right. That's too dry, too bone dry. But they are actually drought tolerant in the winter. Drought tolerant. Surprisingly, almost like a cactus. Alright, thanks for watching. That concludes the unboxing. Hope you enjoyed watching it. And after all this rain, the garden's looking greener. Certainly the grass. And yeah, there's still a lot more work to do on my garden. The goal is to have all of these shrubby plants. One of them here, this is a native plant, and it's related to lilies, I'm pretty sure. This is its inflorescence. So all of these kind of grassy plants. This is another native. We have a lot of native plants in the garden. Plus hydrangeas, native. Another one of these grasshoppers, look. You naughty thing. You know that you're not allowed to be here. You gotta go over and eat the grass here, which is okay. Here you go. Boing. Alright. While we're here, why don't we have a little peek up the other side? A lot of bugs flying around on this orange tree here. Nice big orange tree. Okay, let's squeeze up here. Hopefully I won't get wet. And let's press on past here, and hopefully I don't get stabbed, but I will. Oh. Look at these. They're looking really good. Look at that. Nice. Those are Dendrobium moniliformes, native to Japan. The one at the bottom is not doing too as well as the ones up higher, and this is a Vanda Falcata that actually flowered. So that's great, and you can see the roots are actually going and onto the tree now. Funny story is, I was told the parents-in-law actually had them, and they said they can't grow them. I don't know why, because when you mount them onto the tree, you don't have to do anything, even if it's not raining for days on end. Which we've had a lot of dry weather, well, humid, but it didn't rain, and I don't water them at all. And the thing, that plant is actually growing excellent. No problems whatsoever. Okay, I could talk more, but I gotta get going. So that is the finish there of this particular video. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any questions about Vanda Falcatas and you're growing them, just let me know, and I'll give you more detail, which will help you out much more. I've probably missed a few things. Yeah. I'm not able to grow any other Vandas outdoors. That is the only one that is native to this, or a little bit south of this region. And we have Flabellata, which is native to Okinawa Islands, Flabellata, and you have the Phalaenopsis japonica, Sideria, and that one is native to Okinawa too, so not able to grow it here, it gets too cold. Yeah, okay, thanks for watching. Let's say big goodbye to the ant who's having a clean there. Now these ants are huge, but did you know that all the ants in this region are absolutely harmless? You can put your finger down and they won't even bite at all, even if you pick them up. They're very gentle, and I think they're harvester ants. I think they harvest seed and stuff like that. Yeah, they're all gentle. Okay, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching again. Bye bye.